So the goal of this video is to try to compare these two quantities. I have 0.17 and I have 0.2, and I want to figure out which of these two is larger, or maybe they're equal. And I encourage you to pause the video to try to figure that out. Well, one way to do it is to try to visualize these. And so each of these large squares you can view as a whole. And this one on the left, I have it split into 100 smaller sections, because you notice we have 10 rows and each row has 10 squares, so we have 100 squares here. So each of these squares represents a hundredth of the whole. And so this number up here, 0.17, we could view that as 17 hundredths. So let's color in 17 hundredths. So 17 hundredths is going to be, so that's 1 hundredth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hundredths. And notice 10 hundredths, I filled in 1 out of the 10 rows. So this is the same thing as 1/10. So that's 10 hundredths, 11 hundredths, 12 hundredths, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So one way to visualize 0.17, which is 17 hundredths, is the fraction of this whole that is filled in magenta. Now what about 0.2? Well, 0.2 is the same thing as 2/10. And so we could take our whole and divide it into tenths, divide it into 10 equal sections, which we've done here. Notice each of these sections is equal to 10 hundredths, and that makes sense. 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. But let's fill in 2 of them now, because we're dealing with 2/10. So let's fill in 2 of them. So we have 1/10 and 2/10. So which of these is larger? Well, we see we're filling in more of the whole when we're doing 2/10 than we're doing when we're doing 17 hundredths. And that makes sense because 2/10 is the same thing. 2/10 is the same thing. Another way of saying 2/10 is you could write it as 20 hundredths. 20 hundredths is greater than 17 hundredths. To get to 20 hundredths, you would have to fill in these 3 as well. Notice when you fill out those 3, you're filling out the same fraction of your whole. So, which one's larger? Well, 2/10 is. And how do we write that down? Well, when we write an inequality, we want to open to the larger number. So you want to open to that one. So we have 0.17, or 17 hundredths, is less than 2/10. Now, another way that we could have tackled this, even without kind of having to draw all of this, is we could have just gone to the largest place value. So if you went to the ones place, you got, okay, we have 0 ones. We have 0 ones here. All right, so that doesn't help us. Then you go to the next largest. So then you go to the tenths place. Here you have 1/10. Here you have 2/10. So immediately, without even looking at what comes after this could be 0.17358, it could keep going, but the bottom line is you have more tenths here than you have tenths here, which tells you that this one over here is going to be larger. So the general thing is look at the largest place value. If one of the numbers has a larger digit in the largest place value, it's going to be larger. If they're equal, go to the next larger place value. And you could keep going like that. But another way to think about it is just to visualize it, just like we did over here.